count, I would just put these brackets here and I would say 1, because if f is 0, then u is 1. So counting is just different in Python. Now, for example, if I had funny, let's have a longer word. Usually it'd be 1, 2, 3. If I wanted to get to the y, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would be 5 in regular world, but we're in Python world. We're in coding world. It starts at 0. So to print out the y, I would say 0 is f, 1 is u, 2 is n, 3 is a second n, and 4 is y. And I would print, to get the y to print out, I would say, hey, this variable here, I want the 4th letter because we go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's just something you have to memorize in Python. Super easy. Instead of counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first thing is actually the 0th thing. So now you know how to count in Python. Let's keep it moving because we got a lot to learn. Go ahead and smash that like button and tap the subscribe in case you can't watch this whole video or you just want to become an absolute master at this stuff. Because then you'll see all my videos, right? Now what we want to do is we want to do a little bit of math in Python. But before that, I want to talk about importing stuff in Python. And this is one of my favorite things. Now, importing things is essentially this. Okay. Long story short, and this is why I love coding, is because the smartest people in the world, they've been doing this for 20, 30 years. I don't even know. Way longer than you or I, right? They're mathematicians. They know all this stuff that we don't really need to know anymore because they just build it and then they allow us to import it. And importing means saying like, hey, for example, if I had this variable, but it was like 10,000 variables and all this crazy stuff, this whole machine, this piece of software, kind of like an app. Okay, that's a better analogy. You know, on your phone, you can download an app. Well, you can do the same thing with coding. You can be like, hey, I want to download your package. I want to import your module. That's how they say it. It's called a module, but in reality, it's just a pre-made app by another developer. And that module that you import is kind of like going to the App Store and saying, hey, download this app because I want to use it. So for example, I can say import math, and somebody built a whole library. Another weird word. A library is just like an app, right? It's just got all of these functions and variables that you can use. I can say import math. I hit play. Nothing's going to happen, but it did import math. So now I can do some math in Python. Now I'm going to show you pretty much basic math, but I wanted to talk about importing things just very briefly because you will import things and it is weird terminology again. I'm going to put some of it here. Packages, import. It might be called import package. It might be called import modules. And this stuff, the reason I'm telling you all of these weird words and stuff is because when you Google things, you're going to get this weird terminology sometimes. And it's, to me, it was like, holy moly, I have no clue what you're saying. I wish I learned all these words when I got started, right? So when it gets intimidating like that, it's usually because of a lack of vocab. Not that you don't have a great vocab. I'm sure you have an amazing vocab. But like I said at the start, coders use really, really weird terminology that we just don't use in the English dictionary. And that's why we think coders are so smart, because they're using all these words that, you know, import modules. Or what are modules? I don't know. They're apps. They're like pre-made code by other developers that make our coding so much easier. So that's my little rant on importing. Could be called import package, import modules, and so on and so on. Let's talk about math. So math in Python is like math in the real world. Let's go ahead and start a variable, which is just a storage box, remember, and let's call this math box and call it, let's type in 34.45. Okay, what is that? What type of number? Remember, the integers are the whole numbers This is a float. So a float is a decimal point number. And then I could say plus 34. Now, if this is a float, because it's a decimal point number, this is an integer. Now, what if I wanted to print out MathBox now? MathBox is going to do this equation. This is math equation. Like, you don't need to know super good math because it can just do it for you. I hit print, and it does that math equation for me. So that's how you add. This is how you minus. I hit play, and now it's 0.45, right? Because now it's 34.45 minus 34. By the way, if you ever have any questions, use me as a resource. Ask them below. I will make a follow-up video or multiple follow-up videos if I miss anything. I think I'm covering everything you need to know in Python. You know, as an algorithmic trader, I went through all of my notes, everything I learned over the last few years, put it all in this video. But if I miss anything, ask me in the question section below, in the comment section, and I will answer them.